it feel to be reunited with some of your players from 2010? And what are your expectations for this season of the United Football League? Especially, basically, it's an overall team. We have a lot of, from what I've seen so far, very impressive credentials: strikers, midfielders, defenders, and last question: how do you intend to mold this team to become a competitive team? The season's about to start. It's a lot of fun. But one by one first.
So 3 questions in one. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start with the first one. To be honest, I'm thrilled to be back here, and the opportunity to come back with Loyola, to be working again with players that I've worked with in the ASCALs, who know how I work, how I operate. It might be a little bit different from other coaches. I've certainly found that on my travels around Asia that my style is a little bit different from the coach either I'm playing against or the coach who was in previous to me. In terms of shaping the squad, I don't have any worries when it comes to that. When I arrived the first time, I had less than 3 weeks to prepare for our first game, and I spent probably a third of the time I was in the Philippines, actually in the Philippines. Most of the time I was away with the team, and we were doing it at tournaments, preparing beforehand. We had a very short space of time, so we were able to succeed then. I have a great team around me. I have great talent to work with. I have some great personalities, which is always important in building a team. And I encourage the team to develop off the pitch as well as on the pitch. So far we've been paintballing, which I still have the scars from. We've had movie nights, and we've only been together 2 or 3 weeks. So for me it's very important to build a team off the pitch as well as on the pitch. And that's when I said earlier I can start to see likenesses between the team we had in 2010 and this squad of players here. As a unit, they are all working extremely hard. There isn't anyone that I would say isn't pulling their weight. In terms of how they will do in this league, I think that if anybody wins the league, then they will have to work very, very hard to beat us. We set ourselves out to be very difficult to beat, but we will score an awful lot of goals. And we're working very hard in training to make sure that happens, both going forward and defending. So, without boring people about technical football speak,
yes,
I'm hugely keen to start this season and to show what Loyola Meralco Sparks will be about this season.
Just a follow-up question. You've had stints in Vietnam and where else?
I was in Vietnam for 8 months. Then I went over to Indonesia for a year and a half. And then recently I was in the Maldives working with the national champions of the Maldives in the recent AFC Cup, where we got through the group stages. So I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of Southeast Asian football. I've had a huge amount of experience on the job, in top jobs, in top leagues. And I've seen the best and the worst of what Southeast Asia has, both in terms of some of the problems it faces with the finances of football, the politics of football, the issues of corruption, etc., etc. But what attracts me here is the fact that football is new and it's up for grabs. It's able to be shaped. And if people are prepared to get behind it and make football decisions as opposed to political or financially driven decisions, then you could possibly have a very, very strong league in this country. A league that is capable of competing against other clubs in Asia, let alone Southeast Asia. But the attraction of development, as with the ASCAL's job, is what drove me to sign for Loyola. The ability to go and win things and shape a team and a league by doing that. So, like I say, I'm very keen to get going.
I'd like to ask the old players. We're Group A in the FA League Cup this weekend. Not exactly easy pickings, so to speak, with all the teams. Are your thoughts on your opponents?
Sorry?
Your thoughts on their opponents in the Group A?
In the League Cup? Well, first I think we're all really excited to kick off the season. I think you look at our group and we have a tough group, but I think both groups are roughly tough, and I think we have tough games. the likes of, you look at, I think the big one we're actually looking at is the likes of Sarah's. Like, obviously they've invested a lot as well with the signings they've made, our teammates from the national team, and we're always having a friendly little go at each other saying who's going to win. But it'll be an interesting games, a little warm up to the whole season to come with next year. But it's going to be a tough test, but we're really looking forward to showing that we're the best team in the Philippines.
I think we've mentioned about being the best team in the Philippines. If we want to be the best, we're going to have to beat everyone. That doesn't mean beat 90% and then lose to one team. It means beating everyone. Yeah, but also the tough draw means we'll have an easier quarter final. So I think the draw is a good draw actually, and obviously all the players here, we wanna play the best teams. We don't want to be winning 33-0 and 20-0. We want to be winning games against tough teams. So for us, for me personally, I like the draw.
Last 3 questions.
All right. I'm Lito from Balita. The question is addressed to the ASCAL's member. How is it now that you're being reunited again with your former coach back in the year that propelled you to the popularity?
Whereabouts are you? I can't see. Sorry. It's being reunited with Simon Minoui. It's fantastic. When we first heard the news, we were really excited. We've worked with him before, and I think the important thing is us players, especially senior players, you've only got a certain time of playing, and for us, you always want to keep learning. You always want to look towards the future, and for us, we always want to learn as much as we can about the sport. And already working 2 weeks with him, we've learned a lot, and that's no disrespect to any of the previous coaches we've worked with, but his experience speaks for itself, and it's great to learn off him all the time.
I think you talk to any player. I think the most important person you have to impress is the coach. And one of the most important thing is having a good relationship with the coach. And me personally, I've always felt I've had a good relationship with Simon, both on and off the field. And I think, as Simon mentioned earlier, having a good relationship off the field with your teammates, with your coaches, it helps on the field. So I'm delighted that Simon's come in, and as James says, we've learned something new. We've learned his way of playing, and we know the way Coach Simon works, and it brings out the best in us as players. So we feel very happy that he's here.
Well, I'm happy that he's back. We've been trying to get him back into the country since 2010, and now that he's finally back here, I'm happy to be playing underneath him. He's one of the reasons I came over here as well. He makes all the training sessions not only a learning experience but very fun, which keeps us very competitive every time we step on the field. So as long as we take that competitiveness during practice training sessions to the games, then we're going to be successful, and Simon's going to make that happen.
Another time.
I've known Simon for almost 10 years now, so I know what he can offer the club, and I introduced him to our academy kids the other week, and I said to them, if possibly he didn't come with the national team in 2010, maybe football wouldn't be what it is today. Obviously that competition, Suzuki Cup, was highly successful and created football to be extremely popular here. So I've no doubts in my mind he's the right guy for the job, and we're all excited to get going under him.
Thank you. We just would like to request Mr. Victor Henrino, a member of the board of the club, to give some remarks. Thank you.
Hello, magandang umaga ho. Thank you for coming. I think the message from Meralco or Meralco management is, first of all, excitement. I think the club and the company is very excited about this upcoming season for the UFL. We've assembled, I think, the strongest team we can possibly put together to be able to compete and to be able to fight for a championship. As you guys know, during the UFL Cup, we won first place, and in the UFL League, we won second. So the expectations for the club and the team is very high, and I think it's up to us to live up to the standards that we've set for a team and for the players that are with us today. I think we've assembled a very, very good nucleus of players to come and help us win. We have our new signings that are here. I'm very happy to see Anton wearing a Meralco jersey instead of where he was with previously. I'm also happy to have Simon back in the country to be able to coach a team of young and talented players that we have with us. We've signed up also Phil and James over a longer period of time or a longer contract, and I think this is a place where we would want them to call home, a club that they will also feel at home, and that something that they would want to stay and play out their professional careers, and we really appreciate the loyalty that they've shown the club. And for the new players that have come on board, I think this is a very good chance to get together and see how we can do and how we can perform against a very, very good group that we've been assigned to. I don't know who picked our draw, but we ended up in a very, very good competitive draw. But I think the message is we're here to compete. Meralco management is behind the organization. Maybank and Delimondo, our new sponsor, is also with us here today to help us win a championship. The club and the MVP group of companies has lofty expectations when it comes to winning. And I think we've seen that in the other professional clubs that we've supported. For the Meralco organization, aside from the Meralco Sparks, we have the Meralco Bolts, wherein we have a new coach, Norman Black, and we have the Meralco Power, the Lady Spikers, also through the V-League or the Volleyball League. No? But aside from that, we also engage in other professional leagues and sports, particularly in basketball. So football for us is something that we'd like to participate in, we'd like to grow. And I think with the upsurge of enthusiasm of football in the country, I think this is one sport that we can compete in, and I'm happy that Meralco in one way or the other is trying to help shape the future of Philippine football. So thank you very much for your support.
Very well, ladies and gentlemen, the Loyola Meralco Sparks Football Club. Thank you very much, officers, players, sponsors of the Loyola Meralco Sparks. After this, we'll have a very quick photo session with our photographers. Can we arrange na lang can we arrange the setup of the photo opportunity? And